Mining is one of the most important aspects of Hypixel Skyblock because a lot of people use it to make a lot of money in the game. Top methods like shaft mining and jasper mining can make up to 70 to 80 million coins an hour, and you have to get the powder required to do some of these tasks, and it can be up to 20 million gemstone powder and more. So a lot of people loathe the idea of getting this powder because it takes so long. But what if I said you could make millions on the way? And that's what I did on But before you milk me of all of my money making potential, we need to talk about the sponsor of today's video. It's absolutely no one yet again. The only one who was willing to offer was the subscribe button, so please make sure you hit the subscribe button. Thank you guys so much for the recent support you've been showing me. I don't really know what else to say, honestly. Nothing but thank you. I'm gonna keep trying to make these awesome videos for you guys. And I also want to say, in the last video, I'll play the clip now.
So for that, we get 4,000 subscribers. In the next week, I will do anything the top comment says.
There's some interesting ideas in the comments, and a lot of them are along the lines of doing a long grind, so I guess we'll have to see what wins. But if you want to see me do whatever the top comment is, make sure you get us to 4,000 subscribers. I think it's still got like 5 days at the time of recording this video. So yeah, make sure to like and subscribe, and let's get into the video. So what exactly do you make money off of in this method that I'm going to be talking about for powder grinding? Well, if you looked at the thumbnail, you could probably guess that it's the precursor parts from the powder chest that you get. And you're probably like, well, last time I did this, it didn't make that much money. All right, well, one, you're wrong, and two, let me show you why you're wrong. But before I show you why you're wrong, let's go over the gear requirements. I went over most of the gear requirements in the last video, and they're pretty much the same, but I'm gonna go ahead and go over them again. Firstly, you're at least gonna want mithril equipment, and if you can afford it, go to titanium equipment. Obviously, if you can afford it again, you could go for the ancient cloak, the jade belt, the dwarven hand warmers, and then you could also get the Devon's pendant. However, I'm not rich enough to do all that, so I'm not even gonna be talking about it. And from the last video, we mined mycelium, which should have got you enough for a 655 drill. It doesn't have to have all of the hypermax stats on it like the amber polish or the fuel tank. I do recommend getting at least a ruby fuel tank, so you're gonna at least need a drill. You could also add the blue cheese goblin omelet for an extra +1 to your heart of the mountain perk, which also affects the mining ability, which is important, and I'll talk about that later as well. You're gonna want a teleport device, you're gonna want a lot of oil barrels, and you're also gonna want a fishing rod. I didn't talk about this in the last video, but you can also use these fillet of fortunes, and if you go to the dwarven mines, if you ever need to know where to get these, you just go over here and you talk to Brynmore and you get the fillet of fortune. So now that we've gone over all of just the items, let's go ahead and talk about the armor. So you're going to be using full glossy mineral, and with the mycelium that you mined from the last episode, you should have enough money to afford full glossy at this point. If you don't, it's going to be kind of weird to do this, so go back and mine enough mycelium to be able to afford it. So yeah, your gear is full glossy because of the mining spread. Let's go ahead and talk about the pets. So similarly to the last video, you're going to want to have your Skatha, and you're going to want to have your ball pet. However, there's different reasons as to why you're wanting it. If you ended up buying the black cat with a quick claw, I'm sorry, this method kind of sucks for that. So you're gonna need to go mine more mycelium and get yourself a Skatha. So the Skatha has a perk that grants a 40% chance to find a treasure chest, which is important because more chests you get, the more money you're gonna make with this method. I currently have an epic Skatha, but if you have a legendary, you do get an extra 10% chance to find treasure chests, which could be beneficial, but I didn't really think it was worth it. And then the ball pet is gonna give you a reduced pickaxe ability cooldown. The pet rules is going to be similar to the last ones, where you're going to throw a fishing hook and equip the ball pet, and then you're going to gain mining XP and you're going to equip the Skatha. The final thing that we need to go over is the heart of the mountain tree. You're going to want mining speed, mining fortune, efficient miner, mole, old school, sky mole, blockhead for the block fortune, powder buff for the powder, great explorer or else this method is pretty much useless, and fortunate mine men. Everything above doesn't really assist you. Your mining ability is going to be manic miner because of the ability is going to scale with how much mana that you have. You may be asking, how do we even mine this? How do we make 30 million in an hour? So you're going to want to go up to the top of the precursor remnants. And I find the best way of doing that is just simply going up here, breaking these blocks, and then going all the way up. So now that we're at the top here and we've mined it out, it's fairly simple on how you're gonna make the money. You're pretty much just gonna mine and open the chests as you get them. I've had some people tell me that if you open or if you mine a bunch of blocks and then go back and open the chests, that you'll make more money. I'm not sure if that's true, because personally when I did this method for like 10 hours, I pretty much only just opened the chests as I got them. But yeah, this method's actually fairly simple. I'm gonna do a 20-minute test because the RNG, this is kind of RNG, and I don't want to do a 5-minute test and then just get like 5 electron transmitters and sell it for like 7 mil and then multiply that by 12, and then I'd be making like 60 mil an hour. Since this is RNG, I'm gonna do a 20-minute timer, and then I'll come back and we can go over the rates. Alright, and that is the timer. That's the timer for the test. It's been alright. I feel like I was actually pretty efficient. I have a couple things in the sacks, so I'm just gonna compact everything real quick. Alright, so after everything's been compacted, let's just look at the straight bazaar price. So the straight bazaar price out of all of this is 11.766 mil. Straight up just multiply this times 3. That is 35.28 million coins an hour, which is actually really solid. I think if we ended up selling these in a sell offer, we'd actually be profiting more. Let me do some math. So after calculating the sell offer prices of all of the parts, I got 8.01, and if we go back to the sacks, that puts us up to 4.2. So if I add 4.2, that gets us 12.21. Oh, I'm getting attacked. And then we multiply that by 3, we end up getting 36.63 million coins an hour. Now, there's also some other things you could do. You could level pets, you could bazaar flip, you can auction flip. There's also one more thing that you get from the powder chests. You're also going to be getting diamond essence and gold essence. However, I can't actually access these until I hit Catacombs 20, which sadly I don't have yet. But I'm going to go ahead and add that as roughly 1 million coins an hour, which puts the max rates for this, at least for what I have, to 37 million coins an hour. Now, if you have a lower tier setup, it's probably going to be more like 30 million coins an hour. You're making 30 million coins an hour just mining hardstone and the occasional coal block, and I think that's actually not too bad. I'll do some calculations real quick to see how much powder we ended up making. So from the calculations, I ended up making 855,000 powder in that 20-minute session. That is due to a double powder, but I think you can average anywhere from around 1 million to 1.6 million gemstone powder in an hour with or without 2x, so I don't really think that's a problem. Along with the 36 million coins an hour that you could be potentially making, you could also be getting 1 to 1.6 million powder in a single hour. So if you need 20 million, you only really need to do about 10 hours of this, and that'll also make you about 360 million coins. This method is a little bit better than Mycelium, which is why I recommended it after that video. And I just want to say thank you guys again so much for the support you've been showing me. The next video is going to be even crazier, and it's going to be showing how I made it upwards to 52 million coins an hour. Thank you again. See you next time.